Hi everyone, how's it going? Today I'm going to talk about the 1984 film Runaway. You can kind of see the poster there. See Tom Selleck starred in the movie with Cynthia Rhodes on the poster. Um, this film was written and directed by Micheal Crichton, the famous author slash film director, of course, who had done Westworld and the Andromeda Strain and Looker just a few years before. This is another movie really much in Crichton's wheelhouse with looking into the near future and technology and exploring the idea of technology going wrong, which Crichton really liked to focus on. Jurassic Park, Westworld, all those stories. So this is the premise of this movie. It's set in the near future. I think it's in the 1990s at some point, and it's basically you have robots who help people. You can have robots who clean your house, cook your meals. They'll drive taxi cabs, even perform medical services. So it's a world where robotic technology has been integrated into everyday life. So it's not one of those big high concept science fiction movies. It's more, let's explore technology and let's look how it will change everyday life. Not in necessarily revolutionary ways like a lot of science fiction does, but just it's a little bit more of a toned down type of science fiction in the way that it explores technology. Yeah, so robots are helpers. We also have like kind of like drones, you might say, who are able to fly around and track things and track people. So there's little robots everywhere. And you might remember this movie as the one with spider robots. Yes, and we have a nefarious character in this movie who is trying to, of course, use the robot technology for bad things. And we have Gene Simmons who plays Luther, the villain in this movie, who is a defense contractor type of guy who wants to use this technology to get his way to further his fortune, I suppose. And Tom Selleck plays a cop, part of the Runaway division. The robotics division is what this part of the department handles. Cynthia Rhodes is his new partner, and the movie starts out with them investigating a murder where robots who aren't supposed to do that, of course, have killed people, a family of people. So that's not supposed to have happened. And of course, as they continue with their investigation, it leads to guess who? Gene Simmons, who's behind all of this. So Tom Selleck in '84, I mean, he's really in the height of his Magnum PI fame. Really popular TV show of the 1980s. Gene Simmons, of course, had been in Kiss, and he was exploring or getting into acting during this time. So it's a pretty good vehicle for Tom Selleck. He plays his character, really straight and narrow character, straightforward. He's not cracking jokes or all the time. He's kind of all business, but he's a dependable cop, and he's very respectful towards his new partner. And of course, there's one of the things that the movie kind of implants that there could be a romance between the two, and I guess the love story between them is embedded into the story. Tom Selleck has a young son as well, who he's a single father, of course, a widower. We always have to have a lot of widowers in movies, and he's raising his son, so there's that plot to it. So there's, like I said, it's just a very straightforward science fiction movie. It's more of an action movie. There's police procedural stuff. There's action movie. There's chases, some really good chase scenes. in the film. Tom Selleck's character has a fear of heights, of course, which comes into play in the story. Kind of a callback to the Hitchcock classic Vertigo right there. So, of course, the climax of the movie happens on a skyscraper, of course. So, just a good blend of procedural scenes, character stuff, action sequences, and it's just one of those movies where I think it works on like a Saturday afternoon if it would play on TV, and you could walk into the middle of this movie and enjoy it, or just kind of a good late night movie if you're bored, and Runaway will get the job done. It's just a straightforward, entertaining film. I think it very confident of what it is, and moves at a fairly steady pace. So there's, and So I think that's pretty much all I have to say about Runaway. I know when the film came out at the end of 1984, it didn't do so well at the box office. There were, like I said, a lot of science fiction movies out at the end of '84. 2010 was out, and you had some Starband I talked about, the recent ones I've talked about. So it became, I don't know, I have to think Runaway became more of like a VHS movie. A lot of people probably saw on VHS and enjoyed it. Played on TV a lot too. And I think the film reflects a little bit anxiety about technology in 1984. We're in this period where the home computer and that concept, people are getting used to it. This is the year of the Macintosh commercial, the famous one, and technology in the home is becoming something that people are becoming accustomed to, whether it's VHS or computers and all this high tech material that's becoming available to people, and Runaway imagines a future, I think, where that's happening. And of course there's I guess the idea of the film is it's all fine, but there can be problems, and which happens. The point of the movie seems to be that there always be nefarious people who will want to exploit technology for their own ends. So Runaway's a fun watch if you ever get a chance to see it. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.